Hey, good morning, everybody. Judea Hartley here. Welcome back into the one and only AM show. All right, you guys, I am thrilled. I am at ease. I feel excited because we have an incredible guest, you guys, that is joining us right now, right here, live in the studio. We have Solomon Jordan with us all the way from Atlanta, y'all. Solomon is an author. He is a boss and CEO of his own business. And you guys, he is a motivational speaker. So we're going to dish into everything that he has his hands in. Without further ado, would you open up your mouth and show your love for my new friend, Mr. Solomon Jordan?
I love that.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh God, it's so good to have you here, to see you, to be able to converse with you, to meet you for the first time. You guys, if you are not following him on Instagram, he is King Solomon on Instagram. And I've been following your content as we chatted about over the phone for so many years now. And whether it be your prayers or your business advice or just relationship advice, ways that we can expand our mental health, you have helped me overcome so much, so much. And I've shared this with you off camera. So I am deeply elated that you carved out time, got on a plane, and flew out to join us here on the AM show.
Yes. No, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Super excited and super humbled that you guys that our messages help individuals live the life that they're intended to live.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes, so do I. All right, Solomon. So we have so much to dish about. So I want to start at the genesis, right? Let's go back to your pillars, the foundation of how you got started.
Yeah.
A little birdie told me that you are from Louisiana.
Yep, I am.
So talk to us about your childhood and when you knew you wanted to help other people.
Oh. So I am. I'm from Louisiana. Come from a beautiful family. Have mom and dad. They are absolutely wonderful. They showed us the prime example of what it is like to love and the power of love. And so they have 4 sons. I am the oldest.
Wow.
Yes. And Pops is David. He wanted a son named Solomon. And I have 3 brothers, Joshua, Caleb, and Daniel.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So they are, fun fact, everybody in my family is a doctor except for me.
What?
Yes.
What?
So they are.
That's incredible.
They are doing very well and helping individuals.
Wow.
And I will tell you, I learned at a very early age the beauty of helping others. My dad has always been in our life, and he's always shown us that your purpose is not just for yourself. That becomes selfish, and how to live selfless. And it's this aspect of responsibility.
Yeah.
And each one teach one. And this area to where we've seen our father live this out. And so growing up very soon, there were several ways that we gave back to the community, several ways we were involved. And I'll tell you the way that I knew. When we turned 16, my dad said, "You are going on a missions trip before I buy you a car." And so our dad, all of us, we had to go on a missions trip. And I went to Costa Rica. And I was in Costa Rica, and it was an amazing time, but it showed that life is different and our purpose is to give back.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I was so drawn to your content, because as we chatted about, like so many people on Instagram, like Solomon is just like, oh, I'm a Christian influencer, I'm a social media beauty influencer, whatever it may be. And in real life, they're not nice. In real life, they don't really give back to anyone. In real life, they are self-centered and they're not considerate at all. And I just knew that your life connected to your content.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I can feel it. I knew all of this empowerment that you were spewing out in the form of books, in the form of prayers, in the form of marriage counseling, in the form of teaching on forgiveness and emotional intelligence. I knew that you were able to be impactful in those sectors because you truly, truly live that out. And when we were introducing you, yes, you are an author. Here's your book, Hey God, Here. And you are a motivational speaker, but you are so much more than that. So, I scrubbed your socials. And, you guys, my friend here, Solomon, he is a marriage counselor. He's the VP of a gas company in Atlanta, Georgia. But you really, really teach on life skills and necessities. So I understand that you teach people how to forgive, and you teach people how to develop emotional intelligence. We're going to go right to the meat of this sandwich, being a motivational speaker. So with all that being said, why do you feel like it's so hard for folks to forgive other people?
Forgiveness is challenging because forgiveness is some people can see as weakness or as the other person was right. And it makes them feel that they're wrong. And there's this aspect when it comes to forgiveness is freedom. Forgiveness is not about the other person. Forgiveness is about you. And when we walk through, I help individuals really walk through trauma that's happened. A lot of times people feel they have been traumatized, and I like to tell the difference between trauma and distress. A lot of time we're just stressed. We go to work and we're like, my boss traumatized me. Not necessarily. They didn't copy you on an email. They might have spoke rude to you, but that's not trauma. Trauma inherently changes the way of which you react to a situation, especially that impacted you in a negative way. So somebody who's probably on a plane and the plane almost crashes and they say, I never want to get on a plane again. That's trauma.
That's trauma.
In a space where I was on the plane and somebody spilled coffee on me, that's not trauma, that's distress. And it's this moment to where trying to help people put language to their pain. If you ever go to the doctor and you're at the doctor and you cannot put language to your pain, you cannot get help. So if I go in and say, my head is hurting, but the only word I know is head, and it's really my stomach or my feet, the doctor's gonna do all the tests on your head and you're still going to leave hurting. And you're gonna say, doctors don't work. So we get to spaces and we say, relationships don't work, or all men are this way, or all women, because we don't heal. And forgiveness is about healing. It starts internally. It starts with you letting and releasing it, realizing that the situations that happen to you can become the building blocks in which you build the life that you dream of. And it's helping people walk through that, not saying that life has dictated what I should become and who I should be. And it's helping them realize forgiveness is freedom and it's power. You take the power back when you forgive. You are not weak. It takes strength to forgive.
Well, oh my God, so how much do I owe you? Because that was definitely my therapy session for this morning. Wow, that's so true. And you also talk about emotional intelligence. Please define that for us.
So for emotional intelligence, it's this way: you should have your emotions, but you should not be led by your emotions. And it's very simple. I'm very big in practicality, and there's a lot of definitions and words, and people have, thesauruses for vocabularies. But when I look at people who are highly intelligent emotionally, they have a superpower. Because today we live in a world where it is do you, live big, share your story, release, but not everything we think we should say. Not everything we act and feel, because sometimes they're temporary. Anger is a secondary emotion. You don't wake up angry. What happens is you remember, this person did this to me, and now I feel hurt, and now I am angry because I feel taken advantage of. And a lot of people want to take care of the anger, and they don't deal with the hurt. So imagine that you come in and you see a beautiful apple tree, and you're like, you know what? I want oranges next season. So what you do is you get a broom and you hit all the apples off of the tree, and you're like, you know what? Next year is gonna be an orange tree. Well, it's not, because you never got to the root. All you did was you just knocked all the apples off. You didn't get to a place to where you got to the root of the issue. And sometimes with emotional intelligence, we only deal with people who haven't mastered that. They deal with secondary emotions. So they're just in their life knocking apples off, wishing for an orange tree, not realizing I have to get to the root and deal with the hurt. And if you can master emotional intelligence, you can connect with people, and we are designed to connect with individuals. But our emotions are leading us and guiding us, and we're crashing. We're crashing into people, we're crashing into each other, and we're saying that I want to be alone, and we're not designed to be alone. And so it's a space to where I really try to help people, one, identify their emotions. There's over 78 emotions. There's a beautiful book by Brene Brown called Atlas of the Heart. And she really walks through what your emotions are. And when you ask individuals, it's like, yep, I'm happy, mad, sad, okay. There's so many other more emotions. And if I can identify you, I can find you. And if I can find you, then I can lead you, and we can get to a place of freedom. But if I can't identify you, if if you don't know what your emotion is, then I don't know if I can find you. And that's where people feel lost. And they say, you know what? It's just me, myself, and I. And that's what we're not created to do. We're not created to live that way.
Oh my goodness. Wow, I'm floored. No, Solomon, I really, really am, because candidly, I struggle with that.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, Judea, you're acting out of anger, but the truth of the matter is you really do feel unheard.
Yeah.
You feel unseen.
Yes.
Your self-esteem was destroyed. You're griefy.
Yes.
You've been griefy for years. Like that, and we act out. Yeah, I'm griefy, and you act out of anger, and it's really not anger. Like I want to knock you out. Can I be honest? I really don't want to knock you out. I want you to say sorry for what you did.
Yeah.
I want you to sort of, this may be wrong, but I want you to sort of give me an explanation, telling me why you did what you did. So wow. I'm gonna see, one thing about me, I'm not perfect, but I'm humble, Solomon. I will say what I need to work on. I need to work on that, because it's like, no, I'm not crazy. I have reason to feel everything that I'm feeling, but I don't want to act out of that secondary emotion. So with that being said, in your opinion, in your experience, what is the biggest mistake that people make in relationships, romantic or platonic?
Biggest mistake. I think that's a hard one. I would say biggest. I think I can tell you there's a couple. I think one, there is communication.
Yeah.
When you look at communication is the air to your relationship.
Yeah.
So if you stop breathing, then you're going to die. If I take communication out of a relationship, it suffocates. And individuals are in a space to where we're losing the ability to effectively communicate. And you have individuals that they start through text messaging, they start through Instagram, through social media, through platforms, but there's an art and a skill to conversation. And it's this beauty of intimacy. One of the best definitions I've heard of intimacy is into me that you see.
Yep.
And can you get to a place?
Too.
And I love that definition because do you open up and do you share? And we're in a space to where individuals don't share for several reasons.
Yeah.
And when I can be intimate, we have surface level relationships.
Yeah.
Anything on the surface is picked off.
Yeah.
Relationships are meant to go deep.
Yeah.
That's where it's safe at.
Ooh.
Relationships are safe. It's a seed that grows over time.
Yeah.
But when you stay surface, it doesn't get nutrients. Birds can pick it off and get picked up, but you have to go deep for a relationship, and you go deep with communication. The second thing I think is friendship. I use friendship as the blood to a relationship.
Yeah.
And when you lose blood, it slowly in the body, you begin to die out and the body can't function. Your friendship, you have to protect a friendship.
Yeah.
So many marriages and things and couples that I work with, they love each other, but they lost the friendship.
Yeah.
You become roommates, you become business partners, but not friends.
Yeah.
Can you just go and have a good time?
Yeah.
Can you not have anything on the schedule and go and sit in a park and just laugh? And that's why so many people is like, oh, my spouse is not my best friend or this. And I don't necessarily say it has to have a title, but it needs to have friendship. And so friendship is one of the things that I see individuals over time, they don't know how to forgive. You have to be able to keep up with people because who you start a relationship with is not who that person is going to continue to be in that relationship.
That's right, that's
right. I gotta keep up with the upgrades of who this person is. And over time, realizing the core of that person is still the same.
Oh my gosh, brilliancy. Oh my God, genius right in front of us. Oh God, that's so powerful. Communication, forgiveness, friendship. Oh my God, so many things that we're missing. You guys, we are gonna, I'm floored. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, but don't you go anywhere, y'all, because we have just started peeling this onion with Solomon Jordan. We have so many more crazy in-depth questions, right, that would really help us flourish individually and collectively, and we don't want you to miss it. Stay tuned, everybody. It's the AM Show. Yes. There he is, our special guest for this morning, the one, the only, and yes, he's my new friend, Mr. Solomon Jordan. Welcome back to the show, everybody. All right, y'all. So Solomon, author, motivational speaker, we were just dishing on all things forgiveness, love, servitude, emotional intelligence. And Solomon, we're not going to do anything but go deeper.
Okay.
We're going to go deeper into your content and how you became this man. So this is actually what helped me. I was scrubbing your social media, and as I mentioned, I read so many of your prayers and your pieces of advice every other day.
Yeah.
I don't go a week without reading something because each post really helps me. And you posted on your Instagram, sometimes progress looks like outgrowing relationships, peace becomes your boundary, disappointment doesn't lead to depression, walking away from gossip, drama, and negativity, and you're no longer trying to change people.
Yeah.
Break that down for us.
Yeah.
Pick what you want and break that down.
I think there is a moment when you know who you are and your value and your worth, you stop allowing yourself to be in environments that don't serve you well.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I've seen individuals that don't know their value or their worth, and they stay in places and spaces that don't serve them well, and they become frustration. Frustration leads to abandonment. And when people are frustrated, they abandon the things that they love, that they dream of, that they want to be a part of. And sometimes you have to be willing to understanding that saying no means actually going forward.
Yeah.
And sometimes even going backwards means that you're moving forward.
Yeah.
Sometimes we feel like if I leave this relationship, if I'm not at this job, if I go here, then I am not going to be where I need to be in life. But the thing I've learned is that you still have the ability to build a life that you want to when you make the hard decisions.
Yeah.
The hard decisions lead to the places that we need to be.
Yeah.
The easy decisions keep us comfortable.
Oh, you better say it. That's so funny. I was watching Tabitha Brown last night. She was on Kevin Hart's podcast.
Yeah.
And Tabitha Brown, she actually mentioned exactly what you just did. She said, Kevin, sometimes when we are praying for God for expansion, sometimes that looks like minimalizing things in your life, opportunities, even friendships.
Yeah.
She said, sometimes you got to go smaller, and that does mean bigger.
Yep.
It does, because big is not always better.
Yes.
You can have 15 friends, and 10 out of those 15 friends can be jealous of you.
Yes.
So that does not always mean better. I love that. I'm curious, what advice do you give folks on how to deal with anxiety? What is anxiety, one, and how should we deal with anxiety?
Yeah, so anxiety for me is, in a sense, you look at this ability, what do you ruminate on? What do you think about? And you have an ability to where when your thought process goes into worrying and you think of negative outcomes and you're focusing on that, whatever you focus on becomes magnified.
Yeah.
And anxiety focuses on what could go wrong or why I'm not good enough. And that's not a healthy way to approach any situation. And so I tell individuals, when you get to a place of anxiety, it is normal. It's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be afraid. It's not okay not to do it, not to show up, and not to tell individuals, do it afraid. Show up. Be in a space. You don't have to get it right. You can be in a space to where you can get it right over time. So many times we believe it's one shot. We only got one moment, and life isn't that way.
Yeah.
You get several opportunities to improve, to grow, and to navigate, but it's not. You're not going to mess up your life. You are not that powerful. I have seen too many stories of redemption and individuals who have overcome tons of mistakes that they have made themselves to build a beautiful life.
Yeah.
But I have seen people who have not lived life at all because they never took the step.
Right. Do it afraid. That's so true. Solomon, I say that to people. I tell people, whether it be at church, like wherever, friendships, wherever. So for the most part, I'm always going to show up.
Yeah.
Now, the way in which I show up may look a little different because I'm going to do the best that I can with what I have that day.
Yeah.
And that's how, that's how I like measure and grade myself. No, if it's 74 on Tuesday, let's do numerically 1 to 100. 74 on Tuesday, it'll be the best 74.
Yeah.
If it's 115 on Wednesday, it'll be an immaculate 115.
Yeah.
But I will always give my best with what I have on that day.
Yes.
I love that. So on your Instagram, You also talk about sacrifices, right? The sacrifices that you're making will pay off. And I think we live in such a microwavable society where it's like instant gratification. You talk about this journey, this destination, really not idolizing the destination, but really cherishing the journey. So you give some tips. You tell folks, don't try to fit in, keep the faith, keep building, don't settle. Pick apart this flower for us.
Very simple. I will tell you a life story. There's a moment to where sacrifice does lead to the place you want to be. I got fired from my very first job in human resources. I was right out of college, 23, got hired at Target. It was a wonderful time, still love Target to today, but all of my education was in psychology, not in human resources. And so I got fired. I didn't know how to do the job. And it was a space to where I learned a valuable lesson. You have to be educated and you have to know the skill. Doesn't mean that you can start something, but you have to educate yourself in something. And so in that space, it created a lot of hardship. And I realized I want to do this as a career. So I had to make a sacrifice and go back and get certifications. And those certifications turned into me being fired from one job to the next job that I was offered in HR. I was over one store when I was fired. I was offered a job for over 8 stores.
Wow.
I got promoted from that job to where I was over 3 states.
Oh my God.
And now I'm at a place to where I'm a vice president of human resources for a company. And it's in this place to where I always look at it. It was the sacrifices that I made when I said, I want to learn this and I want to become proficient in this. And I want to see what I can build with it. Failure does not equal destiny. And a lot of times people think I failed and now that is my destiny. Failure is a learning. What do I need to learn to get to where I need to be?
Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh, I love that. What do I need to learn? You know, what do I need to learn in order to get to where I need to be? And I always say that sometimes like God has a way of like breaking our hearts to save our lives. I always say that. Now, Solomon, you are filled with richness and goodness and so much wisdom. So I have some rapid questions. And I do this with motivational speakers because I'm just really fascinated by you guys. And I want you to tell me in one sentence or one word, it can be a sentence or two, or even one word, how we should deal with it. How do we deal with feeling hopeless?
When you're feeling hopeless, fill yourself with laughter.
Fill yourself with laughter. Love that. How should we deal with ghosting?
Remember that the right person will come at the right time.
Yes, sir. What do we do when we feel like we're doing our best and we keep getting disappointed?
Keep going.
Disappointed by God.
Keep going.
Disappointed by God in terms of like us wanting an outcome and it isn't here yet.
I say keep going because the answer will reveal itself.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Wow. Okay, I'm not gonna cry. Okay, what does love truly mean?
For me, love is the most beautiful gift that you can give someone. It is the ultimate sacrifice that says, I put my heart in your hands and I trust you with it and we're going to walk together throughout this life.
What is your biggest goal?
To love people back to life.
Yes, you say that. You also say people don't fall in love, they walk in love. Why, after you make the right decision, why does it hurt so badly?
Healing hurts.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Eating broccoli hurts.
Yeah.
Doing sit-ups, going to the gym, but it's the right decision.
Right.
Just because it hurt doesn't mean it's not right.
Right. What do you do in a relationship where you know the other person can't show up for you the way in which you show up for them?
Yeah. Love, therapy, conversations, and in the right time, the answer for what's needed will reveal itself.
When do you know when it's time to say goodbye to a relationship, any kind?
Relationships have seasons, and there's moments when you can tell that the relationship has died when one, there is no fulfillment, or it is toxic and it's killing you. It's in those spaces to where it's probably in that space, it's better to let go or you're going to lose yourself.
How do we gain confidence?
Trying.
How should we deal with oppression?
Viciously.
Oh, what do you do when you don't feel supported by a team that is supposed to be established to support you?
Keep going.
Oh my God, this is so good. This is so good. How do we approach hard conversations with family members?
With respect and love.
Why do folks glamorize burnout?
I think because we're all tired. Individuals are just tired. And there's a safety in community. I want you to be like me. And we're looking for something, but we're not finding it. So it makes me feel better. You haven't found it either.
Oh, so yeah, let's just glamorize and just banter over us feeling burnt out. What does a safe space look like for you?
The ability to be myself.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my goodness. What do you want people to walk away from? Like when they come in contact with you, Solomon, and in contact with your content, what's the biggest lesson you want them to walk away with?
The biggest thing is very simple. My ultimate goal is that when people meet me, I want them to leave my presence as a better person. Healed, healthy, laughing, joyous, more educated, in a better space. I want them to leave my presence as a better person.
I love that. Should we speak when we're angry?
Yes.
Elaborate.
Yeah. I think you should communicate.
Ooh. Okay.
When you speak and you can communicate, you can release. Anger has to be released.
Yeah.
And it's in this space to where you can be angry, but you don't have to be destructive. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to be negative. You can be in a space, I am upset you did this.
Yeah.
And once you identify it, now we can start looking for resolution. But you should be able. But that's with individuals who can control emotions.
I love that. And last question, how do we deal with folks who are emotionally unavailable?
Love them from a distance.
Yep, I absolutely agree. I tell my mama that all the time.
Yeah.
No, Ma, it doesn't mean that I hate her or hate him. I can wish you well and genuinely mean it.
Yeah.
But I wish you well from Africa. Like I wish you well from all the way over there.
You can't be in a relationship if they're not in relationship, but that doesn't mean I won't show up, I won't support you, I won't be at your events, I won't text you, I won't call you, I won't try, I will love you, but I also know what this relationship is, so I don't expect anything out of this relationship that it's not.
Right, and do you agree with that sometimes you just have to leave it alone?
You do.
Because Solomon, I've done that. I'm like, oh, you are so emotional, unavailable that this is turning into hurt towards me, and you might not intend that, but there's no room. You hold no space for me. So I don't think you intend that. You're a good person. I've seen you in other capacities, but you don't have the bandwidth and the stamina to really measure and navigate both of us. So sometimes you do have to leave. Oh my goodness. Why don't you put your hands together? Solomon Jordan, everybody. Solomon Jordan. Oh my goodness. I thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's right. That's right. Cheer for my guy. That's right. Incredible. All the way from Atlanta, Georgia. Motivational speaker, author. Hey God is a bestseller on Amazon. So you guys make sure you get your copy. Right? Solomon was so kind enough to give me this copy. I can't wait to dive into this gold. Dive into this goodness. I appreciate you. Please leave our audiences with where they can follow you for our upcoming passion projects or some inspiration like I do. Tell them your socials.
Yes, I will definitely tell you. The biggest thing is on Instagram, King of Solomon. I would love for you to follow. If there's anything that I can help, please reach out. There's an email address on there as well. Super excited. I tell everyone that is listening to please know that you are valuable, you are worthy, and there's something beautiful that you can create with this life, and I can't wait to hear and see it.
Oh my goodness, I love that. One more time, make some noise. Solomon Jordan, everybody. We're gonna head on over to a quick commercial break. That's it. But don't go anywhere because we have so much more of the AM show when we return. Fantastic.